Welcome to this presentation of the Globstrat Academy simulation offer. Globstrat is a business game designed by Daniel Paul, a professor of strategy, for teaching strategic management. Here are some arguments to convince you that Globstrat is the best value proposition in the market in terms of strategic and educational benefits. As a training tool for strategic management practicing, GlobStrat will lead you to define and then implement your team's strategy in order to evaluate it during the final debriefing. By giving you the responsibility of a virtual company in a real competitive situation with other competing teams, GlobStrat will simulate time and competitive dynamics within a high-tech industry. In GlobStrat, the ability of each team to win will not depend on luck or operational efficiency, but on a strategy decided, its implementation, and its interaction with the competitor's strategy. From one simulation to another, the winning strategy can be different. GlobStrat is the possibility for the teacher to configure his simulation according to his needs, his objectives, and the time he has. It is, first of all, the choice between 4 levels of strategic complexity. First level, GlobStrat service, in which a supply chain function replaces the production function for an introduction to the team building strategy. Second level, GlobStrat business, incorporating all the functions and all the strategic options of a business strategy for a synthesis course in strategic management. Third level, GlobStrat Corporate adds option for cooperation between competitors through alliances or partnerships in 4 areas. Finally, GlobStrat Triple Bottom Line brings a dimension of corporate governance via a dashboard, profit, people, planet. Whether you use it in the introduction, midterm, or at the end of your course, GlobStrat offers you the choice of complexity, but also the choice of the number of teams between 3 to 9 teams, 3 to 6 participants per team, the choice of the working language, the choice of the number of practice rounds, the choice of the number of periods played, 4 optimally in service version, 6 in the others, the choice of your mode of operation, weekly or per semester, the choice of the duration of the simulation, from 8 hours to 24 hours of teaching. Whichever version you choose, GlobStrat will provide students with a global view of the company and its environment. This global vision of the company will integrate all the functions implemented in the chosen version: innovation, production or supply chain, marketing, sales, human resources, and finance. Each student may be given a role, but must also coordinate with her or his team members to implement only one strategy. GlobStrat can bring together 3 to 9 competing teams. Each company is initially based in its home market, America, EMEA, or Asia, Australia. Then the company can be further internationalized, creating the conditions for competition that will gradually become global. This direct competition in a globalizing market is visualized in GlobStrat on an interactive world map. GlobStrat generates a unique, global, and strategic experience, hence the name GlobStrat. As an example, this is GlobStrat's decision page, the marketing tab in which participants will be able to manage their internationalization, distribution policy, and advertising policy for each market. At the same time, they can view on end right graphs the impact of these decisions on their forecast income statement, on their financing plan, and on their forecast cash flow. The detailed forecast concerned can be accessed via a button at the bottom of the page. GlobStrat integrates most of the strategic options corresponding to the concept taught in a strategic management course. The definition of the company's scope of activity via internationalization and the choice of target groups and market segments. The choice of an innovation strategy in terms of new technologies, products, and services. The choice of a strategic positioning in terms of differentiation, customer intimacy, or competitiveness. The choice of a sustainable development and corporate social responsibility strategy. And finally, in the corporate and triple bottom line version, the choice of a competition strategy through the negotiation of alliances and partnerships with other competitors. GlobStrat is, above all, a great training tool for implementing a business strategy in a competitive environment. This training is divided into a triple learning loop. At first, a loop of analysis of the case and a definition of the initial strategy comparable to a case study. Next, the implementation of the strategy through 4 to 8 rounds during which the participants will be asked to analyze the results each year, to make a diagnosis, to make decisions, and to visualize the corresponding forecasts. This loop is being repeated during each round. Finally, through a final evaluation loop of the strategy via the strategic debriefing. GlobStrat implements a real strategic approach based on a model that does not prioritize any strategy or recipe. GlobStrat's strategic approach is initially based on an academic standard, meaning equal opportunities, and leads each team to define its strategy and then implement it through a selection of investments. This may or may not create competitive advantages, generate leadership, and create value. Value creation will be the subject of the debriefing, which will compare the strategies that have created the most value and will identify the reasons for the successes and/or errors of each strategy. Professor Peterson from Columbia University defined the specifics of the strategic learning process. This diagram, which summarizes the model, clearly identifies 4 fundamental lessons perfectly implemented in GlobStrat. First, the repeated practice of analysis and strategic diagnosis. Then, the choice of a strategy and the elaboration of a business model. Third, the alignment and commitment of the members of the management committee. Finally, the implementation of the strategy, its experimentation, and its evaluation. This exercise highlights 3 fundamental lessons. Strategy is an art of analysis and choice that optimizes the use of available resources in relation to a target audience. It is the art of focus. It is also an art of execution where consistency is essential. And finally, an art of teamwork where dialogue and commitment will be essential. This is what GlobStrat allows to achieve in a hyper-efficient way while remaining really playful. From a technical point of view, GlobStrat is a complete Web 3.0 solution, extremely easy to deploy. Entirely web-based, it does not generate any problem of installation, printing, re-entry of decision, etc. The integrated coaching of the participants brings them the information they need via contextual help online when they need it. GlobStrat favors exchanges and consultation rather than work in silos on Excel. Finally, the optimization of supervision time allows the teacher to fully play his role of professor, rather than spending time solving technical problems. Everything is done to facilitate the work of the teacher and make it as strategic as possible. In addition, it is essential to conclude your strategic simulation experience with a debriefing to examine and evaluate each other's strategies. By producing a set of graphics that will allow you to learn from the successes of some, the relative failures of others, GlobStrat highlights three key elements of the team's successes: the clarity and coherence of their strategy, the alignment and coherence of the implementation of this strategy, and finally the effectiveness of teamwork within the management committee. GlobStrat is also a so-called insurance of learning simulation, meaning it offers a student evaluation system that meets the requirements of international labels. GlobStrat offers a quiz on the reading of the manual for each participant. At the end of the course, GlobStrat also offers you a quiz to assess the ability of each participant to develop a strategic diagnosis and make appropriate recommendations for too many cases from GlobStrat. Third, GlobStrat offers a peer review tool that allows participants to assess the team's ability to work in a team, but also optionally each participant to evaluate the contribution of others. All these elements can be viewed in the form of an evaluation board that will allow teachers to enter their own grades and to determine the final mark of each student and transmit it to the administration directly via a PDF created by GlobStrat. It is often imperative for the teacher to choose a solution which corresponds to his needs and his expectations, but also to his constraints, in particular time constraints. For this, GlobStrat is a flexible solution that can be parameterized according to your available time, which can range from a few hours to a few days. The flexibility of GlobStrat is precisely one of its assets. GlobStrat is indeed probably the only simulation offering a real strategy complexity while requiring a time-optimized pedagogical exploitation. GlobStrat can obviously be organized for a semester or continuously over 1 to 3 days, alternately or continuously, so you need to adjust the agenda of your simulation so that it best meets your requirements and your constraints. Last but not least, GlobStrat has prestigious references. It has been adopted by famous universities, by leading business schools, as well as by renowned multinationals around the world. For all these good reasons, GlobStrat is probably the best current value proposition on the global market. GlobStrat guarantees to the teacher first the best possible contribution to the valorization of his teaching and to his own reputation. To the students, a unique and fun educational experience which they will remember for a long time. To your institution, finally, a controlled academic cost. If you are a teacher, contact us and we will offer you a free self-training program so that this tool can become yours. If you are a student, you will be offered a GlobStrat learning program upon registration.